Okay. Why would I do that?
Huh?
Why would I do that?
Enabled, I got falsely tased by the police.
Oh, well, you met a good cop today, so
That's good.
what's going on today?
I have enough evidence to show. Hey, come into this hot shot.
We're gonna talk right here.
He thought getting fired was the worst part of his day, until cops showed up to make it even worse. According to me, this is one of those moments where stubbornness meets reality, and reality wins. What started as a simple firing at a BMW dealership turned into a tense standoff, bizarre conversations, and a string of decisions that took this guy from unemployed to in handcuffs. And here's where it gets even stranger. On August 8, 2023, police were called to a BMW dealership after reports of a recently terminated employee refusing to leave. According to staff, the man wasn't just upset, he was disruptive. Officers arrived calmly, clearly hoping to keep things peaceful. But the first thing out of the man's mouth, that he'd been falsely tased by police in the past. He quickly followed it up by saying this officer was a good cop. Right from the start, his tone was unpredictable, bouncing between casual conversation and tense defensiveness. The officers, trying to mediate, asked what was going on, only to find themselves caught in a much bigger and stranger argument than just a workplace dispute.
I'm actually letting Bobby go.
Well, you were let go. He was let go, correct? Okay. All right. Does he need to leave? Yeah.
This part blew my mind. The man flat out denied being fired. In fact, he claimed he was actually letting Bobby go, as if he was the one calling the shots. The officer double-checked with the staff, and they confirmed he'd been let go. The dealership's manager made it clear he needed to leave. Still, the man argued, repeating that he hadn't been fired. The officer explained, in plain terms, that whether or not he agreed with the decision, it was now a civil matter. If he thought it was unfair, he could take it to court, but right now, the priority was leaving the property. Instead of complying, the man continued to stand his ground, setting the stage for everything that followed.
Okay. Alrighty, well, let's get your stuff and get you on your way.
I belong here, sir.
Okay, well, not anymore. So,
illegally.
Where is your stuff at?
My toolbox is inside.
Okay. Does this gentleman here know where your toolbox is? Okay, could you go grab it for him? Thank you.
It's a big box.
I'm just saying, I don't know where you're going at that.
What?
It's something
I have enough illegal evidence that BMW has been doing this to this dealership. It's 90 degrees in this shop. BMW is required to have AC, and it's ridiculous.
Well, that's something that you'd have to take to court.
But wait, it's about to get even more petty. The man told the officer his toolbox was still inside and asked for it to be brought out. Another employee agreed to grab it, trying to speed things up. But instead of waiting quietly, the man launched into a rant about the shop's working conditions. He pointed to a temperature gauge, saying it was 90 degrees Fahrenheit inside, and insisting BMW was required to have air conditioning. The officer, still patient, told him that wasn't something police could solve. That was an issue for civil court. It was clear by now, the conversation wasn't really about a toolbox anymore. It was about him trying to stay on the property, no matter what excuse he used.
All that stuff, but right now you gotta go.
Are you going to arrest me, officer?
If you don't leave, yeah. And I don't want to do that. I got much bigger fish to fry, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I'm not a bad person.
I don't think you are.
Alright, I guess we all get to sit in this hot shop.
And here's where the standoff really kicked in. Rather than getting ready to leave, the man tried to sit down and drag out the conversation. Every time the officer tried to move things along, he found another reason to stall. The officer reminded him over and over, if he stayed, it would be trespassing. He even gave him a very generous offer, 2 full minutes to leave on his own before being arrested. But instead of taking the easy way out, the man just kept talking. You could feel the officer's patience wearing thin, yet he still tried to avoid making the arrest. What would you have done here? Kept arguing, or taken your stuff and left? This part showed just how much patience the officer had. He told the man straight up, "I don't want to arrest you, I've got bigger fish to fry." He'd been respectful, calm, and gave him every chance to walk away. But the man kept pushing, repeating that he was not trespassing and had done nothing wrong. The officer explained that the dealership had verbally trespassed him, meaning he was officially told to leave, and once that happened, staying put was a crime. Whether he left on his own or in handcuffs, one thing was clear: he wasn't going to be allowed to stay. It was now a battle of stubbornness, and the clock was running out fast.
Okay, yeah, it's 90 degrees. It's hot.
Yeah,
It's a warehouse job.
This isn't a warehouse job.
Okay.
Just when you think the excuses might be over, the man pulls out a temperature gauge and proudly shows the officer. It's 90 degrees in here. The officer glances at it, acknowledges the reading, and even admits it's hot, but calmly explains that it has nothing to do with the issue at hand. This wasn't about workplace comfort anymore. It was about the fact he'd been told to leave and was refusing. Still, the man kept circling back to the heat as if it would somehow change the officer's mind. It was clear he was trying to turn the conversation away from the trespassing, but time and the officer's patience were running out fast. And then came the breaking point. The officer looked him straight in the eye and gave one last warning. "This is your last chance." He made it crystal clear: go home or go to jail. But the man, still locked in denial, repeated that he wasn't trespassing. The officer explained it again, slowly, leaving no room for misunderstanding. This was the moment to choose the easy exit. Instead, the man doubled down. You could almost feel the shift, from negotiation to enforcement. The officer had been calm, patient, and more than fair, but when someone refuses every single chance to walk away, the decision gets made for them.
I hate it. I mean, getting fired, I've been fired for it, all right? Not from here, but
I'm not fired.
okay. All right,
All right, man.
stand up.
Okay, no.
Put your hands behind your back. Okay. You will go down face first. Stop. Put your hands behind your back. I promise.
Please.
Stop.
Please.
No, please. Put your hands behind your back.
Please.
84 directed. 84B.
This part blew my mind. The officer told him to stand up, but he refused. That's when the order came. "Put your hands behind your back." Instead of complying, the man squirmed, pleaded, and said, "All right, I'll leave." But it was too late. The officer reminded him they'd been talking long enough and he'd had more than enough opportunities to avoid this. The cuffs came out, and the standoff was officially over. After all that talking, all the warnings, and all the excuses, he ended up in the exact situation the officer had been trying to help him avoid. And just like that, the day went from bad to much, much worse.
Can you bring me home?
Nope.
Nah, man, you're going to jail. You got plenty of time to leave. Nah. That's it, man.
Once the cuffs were on, the walk to the patrol car began. The man, still trying to negotiate, asked the officer if he could just bring me home instead of going to jail. The answer was short and final. "No, you're going to jail." A second officer on scene mentioned that he'd been given over 15 minutes to leave voluntarily, but chose not to. It was a simple truth that made the whole situation even more frustrating. At this point, the man wasn't in control anymore, yet he kept talking as if he could change the outcome. The reality had set in. He was no longer an employee, no longer welcome on the property, and now officially under arrest. Before getting in the patrol car, the officer gave a clear warning. If he brought anything illegal into jail, it would mean more charges. The man denied having anything, but when told to remove his shoes, he hesitated. The officer insisted, explaining it was standard procedure. Eventually, he complied, taking them off without incident. It was a small moment, but it showed how even the simplest instructions had been a struggle all day. The search turned up nothing, but the delay added to the sense that the man was determined to make this process take as long as possible. By now, it was obvious. Every step forward came with an argument, a pause, or an excuse, and then another twist. While seated in the patrol car, the man started maneuvering his arms, trying to bring his cuffed hands from behind his back to the front. The officer spotted it instantly, warning him that doing so could mean another criminal charge. It was a risky and unnecessary move, especially after everything that had already happened. The officer called for backup to help readjust and secure the cuffs. Once they had him properly restrained again, the ride could finally continue. It was yet another example of how his actions kept making the situation worse. Small decisions stacking up into a much bigger problem than the one he started with.
Let's fucking go! I love St. Petersburg police. I love St. Petersburg police because they know how to do their fucking job. St. Petersburg police knows how to do their fucking job. I got falsely tased in Naples. St. Petersburg police didn't tase me. They're not criminals. Black lives matter. All lives fucking matter. My ex-girlfriend used to hump my dog.
But this part was just bizarre. Sitting in the back of the car, the man began praising St. Petersburg police for knowing how to do their job, contrasting them with Naples police, who he claimed had falsely tased him. Out of nowhere, he launched into an unsettling rant about his ex-girlfriend, claiming she used to hump my dog, and accusing her of disturbing behavior involving her child. The statements were shocking, completely unrelated to the arrest, and painted a picture of someone spiraling far beyond the original incident. Whether it was stress, frustration, or something deeper, it was clear that this arrest was about more than just a trespassing dispute. It was about control slipping away. By the end of it all, the charges were simple but serious: criminal trespassing and resisting arrest. The irony was hard to ignore. Both charges could have been avoided if he'd simply walked away when first asked. The officers had given him time, options, and patience, but his refusal to listen sealed the outcome. What began as a workplace dispute turned into an arrest that could now follow him for years. And as he sat in the back of that patrol car, the day's events probably started to sink in. From arguing about the temperature to resisting cuffs, every choice had pushed him further into trouble. In the end, leaving on his own terms had never been the plan. This day started bad and ended much worse, all because he refused to follow simple instructions. Multiple warnings were ignored, turning a routine firing into an arrest for trespassing and resisting. So, what would you have done in his shoes? Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe for more crazy real-life stories.